Hey everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. If you're new, welcome. I am so happy that you found me, and I really hope that I can learn from you and you guys can learn from me as we journey through plants. Today I'm going to do a video on fungus gnats. And to be completely honest, I really do not have that much of a fungus gnat problem. I'm a photographer and I do social media, so a lot of the times my job isn't 9 to 5. So many of the times I will be working late at night. And honestly, that's really the only time I ever notice that I have fungus gnats at all, because they'll be going towards computer screens. More on that later. And people come over and they see my plants and they're amazed that I have no fungus gnats. I don't say that I have no fungus gnats. I definitely still do have fungus gnats, but I've found some things that work really well against them, and I want to share them with you because I know this is a really common problem, and a lot of people don't keep houseplants or try to go soilless because of fungus gnats. And I am here to tell you that it's really a lot easier than you think to get rid of them. We're going to go through this as an organized fashion as someone who gets easily distracted can. And I'm going to try and do numbers, but that might not work because we all know, if you're new, you don't know, but if you've watched me before, then you do know that I like to go on tangents. So, the number one way to reduce or eliminate, now I'm never gonna say eliminate. You're always gonna have fungus gnats, okay? It's just a question of how many. So, the number one thing that you can do to reduce your fungus gnat issue is your watering. Guys, fungus gnats need moisture in order to breed. So if you have a huge fungus gnat problem, actually I would say the amount of fungus gnats you have is directly related to how much you water. If you have a huge fungus gnat problem, you are overwatering. If you have less fungus gnats, that means you are probably doing a better job on watering. So one thing that you can do to greatly improve your fungus gnat situation is to cut back on watering. A lot of plants can go a hell of a lot longer without watering than you think. I am a chronic underwaterer. I have said that a million times on my Instagram and on my YouTube that I usually go weeks without watering the plants. I have over 300 plants, and the only way I can have those plants is because I don't water them on a schedule. I am going to do a separate video on watering, or else it's going to get really long. So cut back on your watering. I guarantee that your fungus gnat issue will drastically reduce if you cut back on watering. Alright, so first I want to talk about some things that do not work with fungus gnats. And I see it very commonly recommended. I have tried it, I've seen other people that try it, and you still have fungus gnats. Alright, number one is cinnamon. Cinnamon does not work at all. Honestly, there's really no way you can put enough cinnamon to really deter those fungus gnats. Like, you would actually have to put it, you know, a 1/4 of an inch thick, if that, in order to make a difference. If you're just sprinkling it on top, it's not gonna work. And plus, cinnamon ain't cheap, and there's so many better things you can do with that cinnamon. And the other thing that I also see recommended a lot is putting sand on top of your pots. And you really don't want to do that. Sand is just gonna compact the soil, and then your roots are gonna breathe, and then eventually your plants are just gonna die. So I don't recommend doing either of those things at all. Another thing is a lot of people recommend are pebbles, and it does look nice, but the fungus gnats, you know, they're little tiny bugs. They're gonna find their way around those pebbles. Hi, this is Johanna of the future. As I was editing the video, I realized that I forgot some things that you should not be using for fungus gnats. And one of those is dish soap. You really do not want to use dish soap on anything. Dish soap is a detergent and it has lye, and it will just break down and kill things over time because it's a detergent. It'll just dissolve the roots and dissolve the protective coating on the plant, and you just don't use dish soap for any pests ever. And another thing that I often see mentioned is hydrogen peroxide, and that doesn't really do much of anything either. I mean, it's not going to hurt your plant, but it's not going to help your situation. And the last thing I wanted to mention is that certain soils tend to be known to have fungus gnats. And one of those soils is Miracle-Gro, which is a very common soil. But I see a lot of people say that when they use Miracle-Gro that they get fungus gnats. I never use Miracle-Gro. I use a few other soils, and I usually do my own mixes, which is probably another reason why I don't really have a lot of fungus gnats. But I just want to quickly mention those things to you. So let's talk about what I found that does work. fungus gnats are in the same order as mosquitoes. So again, I'm gonna repeat this like several times because this is the key to getting rid of fungus gnats, okay? Mosquitoes, fungus gnats, related, yes. And one thing that people very, very commonly recommend, and they totally work, are mosquito bits. And mosquito bits are these little, it's hard. I'll do like a insert thing. So mosquito bits are these little corn cob things, like they grind up the corn cobs and they infuse them or soak them or do something with this stuff called BTI. I'm not even gonna pronounce it, what the BTI stands for, because it's impossible to pronounce, and all you need to know is that it has BTI in it. And what you can do with these is you can either mix them into your soil in your pot, or you can put a bunch of them in your whatever watering thing that you're using and soak it overnight. I have done both of those things and I definitely did see a drastic reduction in my fungus gnat issue, but there's a but here, is that a lot of times these little corn cob things end up getting a little moldy, especially if they're on top of your soil, and nobody wants to see like moldy corn bits on anywhere near their plants. As far like, no, that's not why we have plants. So I don't really like using that, and they don't really dissolve in the water. They just sit in there and then they end up in your plants and they still get moldy. And yeah, so yeah, they work. Just be aware that that's an issue. But I found out something that works better, and I'm gonna go grab that because I forgot to bring it. Okay, so this is the product that I found that I am going to be using like exclusively because I find that it works better than the mosquito bits. These are mosquito beater water soluble pouches. Whew, that's a hard one. And it's made by Bonide, and I have always loved Bonide products and been super, super, super impressed with these. I got these at my local garden center, but I'm sure you can find them online somewhere. And these have BTI in it. It's the exact same thing that's in the mosquito bits, but the reason why this is better is because these have some sort of almost like a sawdust, I guess, like but a little bit more a little coarser than sawdust. And these are infused with BTI, as I said. So what you can do is put this pouch in a watering can. And keep in mind that one pouch treats 50 square feet of water, so in your watering can, that's a little bit overkill. And why I like these better is because it mixes into your soil really, really easily, and it does not get moldy like the mosquito bits do. So what I have been doing, which I'm probably gonna do exclusively from now on, is I take scissors and I cut the corner off, and I just sprinkle this in and around my plants in their pots, and then I water it. And it is just so much better than mosquito bits because like they don't get moldy. I mean, it's just easier. It's not as ugly as mosquito bits, and they work just as well. Like I saw a reduction in fungus gnats the next day. So I got these at my local garden center. I'm sure you can find them online. They have lasted me forever and ever and ever. One of these pouches probably goes to about 30 or 40 different plants, I would say. It depends how much you're sprinkling on there and how big your pot is. So I got these a while ago. I pretty much treated all my plants, and I still have a whole lot left. So highly recommend these. Definitely go get it. I'll put a link if I can find them online in the comment section so you can get them. They're absolutely awesome. So anything that you are soaking or putting in your plants, be aware that you need to reapply it in 2 weeks, okay? These things have a cycle, and if you have it sprinkled in your pot, then that's fine. You don't need to reapply it, but if you're doing the soak and pour method, so to speak, then you do need to reapply it in 2 weeks. And this goes with any pest and anything that you're treating, is you're just killing probably the larvae and the adults whenever you apply anything. Like if you do alcohol to mealybugs or these things to fungus gnats, right? Whatever it is, you want to reapply in 2 weeks because they're going to have eggs and whatever, and it's just going to come back. So reapply every 2 weeks, or not every 2 weeks, at least like 2 or 3 times, I would say. I usually do it twice. So I'll apply, and then 2 weeks later I'll do it again, and then that usually eliminates any issue that I have. When you're sprinkling them in your pot, I mean, it's staying in there, so you don't have to necessarily reapply, but every time you water, it's gonna help kill anything in there. So that's why I recommend to sprinkle instead of depth of the water. Another thing that I have found to be super helpful against fungus gnats are ladybugs. I release ladybugs probably every 6 to 12 weeks into my plant rooms. I get about 300 of them if I can. Sometimes I've gotten more, but usually about 300. And I just let them go and they do their thing. And it's made such a huge difference on my pests. I try to do everything as like pest and chemical free as I possibly can. I don't want to kill any beneficial microorganisms that may be living in my soil or on my plants. I mean, there's good bugs too, you guys, and you don't want to hurt those. And I'm gonna do a whole separate video on pest control and how you can do it that way, because you want to make sure you're benefiting everyone. All right, so the nice thing about BTI is that it only targets anything that's related to mosquitoes. So BTI is not going to hurt your ladybugs. It's not going to hurt any beneficial microorganisms. It's only going to kill fungus gnats and mosquitoes. That's what it's targeted to kill. So good stuff. All right, it's not going to hurt your pets. It's not going to hurt your fish. It's not going to, well, supposedly, I'm not going to feed it to my cat. What kind of monster do you think I am? Anyway, so ladybugs. Ladybugs are not going to kill your adult fungus gnats by any means. The fungus gnats and the ladybugs are both very mobile, but like a ladybug is not flying around hunting down everything. They land on something, they look around, they eat things that are easily accessible to them. So what they are going to eat are the larvae, and especially the newly emerging larvae from whatever the fungus gnat laid its eggs in. So I have found my fungus gnat population to definitely drastically reduce when I have ladybugs. And I recommend that you release ladybugs, and I will do a whole separate video on pest control at some point. And last but not least, the thing that I found really, really helpful with fungus gnats are mosquito zappers. And yes, we are talking about the old-fashioned blue things where you see the cartoon of the bug and he's like, ah, don't go into the light, but then they go and then they die. And I noticed when I'm working at night, that's when I see the most fungus gnats, because all the other lights are off. So I'm sitting there working on my laptop or my computer, and I will see like a little fungus gnat flying around, and it's like so annoying. And I noticed that it'd be very attracted to the blue screen on my devices. And then that's when I thought, let me see if I got a mosquito zapper, and since that's blue light, and maybe I'll be attracted to that. You guys, it totally works. It works so well. I honestly didn't think I had any fungus gnats, but it wasn't until I got the zappers that I realized, oh boy, there are way more than I thought. Honestly, it doesn't matter what kind it is as long as it's a mosquito zapper. So this is a little camping mosquito zapper that I got, and honestly, I don't think it matters which mosquito zapper you get, because I got 2 of them and they both work equally well. I like this other one a lot better because I find it easier to clean than this one, because I'm honestly not even sure how I'm going to get in there to clean out these little dead fungus gnats that are stuck in there. But you know what? They're dead, and that's the whole point. So this one just charges via like little micro USB. One charge lasts probably, I'm going to say about 2 days. You should just keep it plugged in all the time, and I have one of these in each of my plant rooms. So currently this one is in the bathroom and this one is in the plant room, and they work really like amazingly well. And I was a little worried that the ladybugs would go towards this too, but thankfully they don't. And this one is kind of funny. It has like a little wand that you can take out, and it's also, I think it's also for camping. But I look in there and that's when I see how many fungus gnats there are. But honestly, I feel like I've killed them all the first round, so I don't really get that many now, and especially now that I'm using the BTI products more regularly and everything's been treated, I don't really get that much at all. And I'll put the link to both of these products below. And they're on at night, they emit a blue light, so it's almost kind of like a nice little night light, and they work so well, it's ridiculous. So I hope that that's helpful and that you can take care of your fungus gnat issue. If you have any questions or if I got anything wrong in this video, please let me know. I would like to correct myself if I can. If you tried any of these and they've worked, I want to hear how it went for you. If there's any other videos that you would like me to cover, please let me know. I'm more than happy to, this is what it's all about. I'm here to listen to you guys, and so we can learn from each other. So if there's any videos that you'd like me to cover, propagation, tours, issues, pests, like seriously, drop a comment below and I will accommodate. I know someone asked for a greenhouse plant tour, so I will be doing that sometime in the near future. So I hope you guys have a great day and you're staying safe and you're staying healthy. It was so good to sit here and chit chat with you, and I'll talk to you later. Thanks. Have a great day.